The Lord be with you.
And with your spirit.
A reading from the Holy Gospel according to Luke. While some people were speaking about how the temple was adorned with costly stones and votive offerings, Jesus said, "All that you see here, the days will come when there will not be left a stone upon another stone that will not be thrown down." Then they asked him, "Teacher, when will this happen? And what sign will there be when all these things are about to happen?" He answered, "See that you not be deceived, for many will come in my name, saying, 'I am he,' and 'the time has come.' Do not follow them. When you hear of wars and insurrections, do not be terrified, for such things must happen first, but it will not immediately be the end." Then he said to them, "Nation will rise against nation, and kingdom against kingdom. There will be powerful earthquakes, famines, and plagues from place to place, and awesome sights and mighty signs will come from the sky. Before all this happens, however, they will seize and persecute you. They will hand you over to the synagogues and to prisons, and they will have you led before kings and governors because of my name. It will lead to you giving testimony. Remember, you are not to prepare your defense beforehand, for I myself shall give you a wisdom in speaking that all your adversaries will be powerless to resist or refute. You will even be handed over by parents, brothers, relatives, and friends, and they will put some of you to death. You will be hated by all because of my name, but not a hair on your head will be destroyed. By your perseverance, you will secure your lives." The Gospel of the Lord.
Praise to you, Lord Jesus Christ.
A fairly somber set of readings we have today at the end, getting close to the end of our ordinary time. And as I prepared for this homily a week ago and was reading these readings over and over, the three themes or words that I couldn't get out of my head were temples, time, and perseverance. The other thing that happened at the beginning of this week is I usually don't turn the radio on when I drive. I have an 8-minute commute. But early in this week, I did turn the radio on, and I don't know if you ever experienced this, but I can't get this song out of my head. Anybody ever been there? So I'm going to share it with you, and maybe it'll be stuck in your head. And the cat's in the cradle and the silver spoon, little boy blue and the man on the moon. You can sing with me if you'd like. When you coming home, son, I don't know when. We'll get together then. You know we'll have a good time then. 45 years ago, Cats in the Cradle was released by Harry Chapin back in the summer, I think it was. And by December, 45 years ago, it had hit the top 100, and it was his only #1 song. And he wrote it, interestingly enough, after the birth of a son, his first child, I believe. He remembered a poem that his wife had written, and he grabbed that poem and wrote this song. A song that basically is about the time that we freely give or don't give to others in our lives. And at times when, because we didn't give that time, we can regret it. We had the chance and we didn't take it. Time is such a precious commodity, and we take it for granted. I know I have. Many of us, I've talked to many of you. Tomorrow is the day I'll do that. We have so many tomorrows in our heads. I'll deal with that relationship tomorrow or next week, and it turns into months, and it can turn into years. I'll better my relationship with God tomorrow or next week, or New Year's resolution, and that was 3 resolutions ago, right? I have witnessed also, and I know Father has also witnessed, and many of you perhaps, the faces of some of you and others when that realization hits that time is running out, maybe for yourself or for a loved one. It's so sad to witness that remorse in someone's face when they get to that point in their life where they realized they've had missed opportunities. You know, in today's gospel, it beckons us to consider time and temples in our lives, not to procrastinate, not to put things off, but to persevere, to fight the good fight. Temples, as I shared with the children, they are places of worship. We believe God is present in the temple, in a church. We know in the Eucharist God is present in this space. But no matter how we build them, no matter how fancy we make them, natural disasters, as we also heard about in the gospel, will occur. Things happen in this world, and these structures, which are made of earth, will return to earth someday. You are temples. You are all temples of the Holy Spirit. It dwells in each of you. Will you, in the time you have left, take care of this temple that is you, body, mind, and soul, spirit? You are what you eat, right? Do you think about the temple as you put things in your mouth? Do you think about the temple? I was talking to a parishioner this last week. He's in his 70s. He's fairly active, and the comment that he made is, a body in motion stays in motion. Do we think about that? So taking care of this temple, our bodies, and our minds. Do we take time to make sure we're taking care of this part of our temple, our mind? We all have addictions. Some of us love coffee, and some of us like cigarettes, and some of us like our phones, and some of us can't get our heads away from our phones. And whatever it is that you're struggling with, are you also exercising your mind, reading, growing strength? And what about your soul? Are you exercising your soul? Are you finding the time in life for God to increase your prayer life? How is that relationship right now? This is a time of year for celebrations very soon. Thanksgiving, Advent, Christmas, family and friends will get together. You must select what you will do with that time carefully, right? It is a very tough time for those who are lonely, those who have no family in this area. And again this year, thanks to our pastor who began this tradition, I believe, we will have a brunch on Christmas morning between the 2 morning masses for those who have no family, for those who have family, for us to gather together as family in Friendship Hall and eat with one another on Christmas. Advent is only 2 weeks away. Christmas, 40 days, I think. Time keeps ticking. That's another song that gets stuck in your head, right? As Advent approaches, challenge yourself to review how you will use your temple time. How will you expand and grow your body, mind, and soul? And also review how much time you will give to another. I can't get that song out of my head, all right? It's in there. I'm hoping after this homily, it's the last homily for the weekend, that you will all have it stuck in your heads, and I will be released from it. But I'll leave you. Maybe it's my head because maybe it's God saying to you, and the cat's in the cradle and the silver spoon, little boy blue and the man on the moon, when you coming home, you don't know when, we'll get together then, you know we're gonna have a good time then.